23 years old, 5 months ago, I packed up everything that we could fit into our car and moved 16 hours away to a place where I knew no one. And let me tell you, no one could have warned me for how difficult it was going to be. So why did I do it? I lived in the same tiny city for my entire 23 years of living. And honestly, I just felt stuck. If you are someone who has also lived or currently lives in a tiny city, you know that when you live there for long enough, you know everything and everyone. And when you're consistently surrounded by the same people and the same things, I found it extremely difficult to grow into the person that I wanted to be. I felt more pressure to conform to that idea and the picture that they had painted of me in their mind. It made me feel like somehow growing was something bad. In the city that I lived in, I live in Canada, it's like winter 7 months of the year. There's not a lot of people who are super active. There's not really a big fitness scene there. That's my job. I remember the first hour that I was here, I fell in love. There were so many people riding bikes and getting outside. There is not a shortage of fresh local markets with real food. My lifestyle aligned with this place much more than the tiny city that I grew up in back home. And so you might be thinking, what's the bad part? I didn't realize everything that I would be leaving behind. The very first 2 weeks, I was filled with excitement and new opportunity. I was so excited to build my identity into someone that I truly wanted to be. This was like a brand new, fresh, clean slate. And then reality hits. Loneliness hits different. I lived on my own when I lived back home. I also lived 5-10 minutes away from my family and my friends. I didn't realize how much I relied on having those people in my life until they're gone. There will be times where it's like 7 p.m. and I want to like call my parents and tell them something, and then I realize they're literally asleep. As exciting as starting over is, it also can feel scary and confusing. All of these minuscule things that I didn't even have to think twice about back home are things that I really have to focus on here, like learning the roads here, finding a new gym, grocery store, finding a good safe walking path, just like figuring out where you belong, being uncomfortable because you don't feel like you belong anywhere yet. But here's what I didn't expect. The amount of sheer growth I would have in such a short amount of time. Although it can get really lonely, I've also learned to be independent in a way that I've never had before. Yes, there's no safety net, and that's scary. In the same sense, it's also extremely freeing. I've become more aware of what actually makes me happy. When you're surrounded by people that you know, I at least, hindsight, feel like I was making decisions to make other people happy or comfortable instead of doing what I wanted. But because there's nobody here that I know, I can do anything. I've been able to learn more about myself, try new hobbies, see how I operate in different environments, and learn to be comfortable with the quiet. In a new coffee shop or taking a walk by myself, it's really helped me develop a stronger relationship with me. And ultimately, that's the most important relationship you're ever going to have in your life. Moving away is hard. I'm still navigating it. It will make you question yourself in ways you haven't before and force you to grow in ways that you didn't expect. If you're someone who's considering it, if something in you is telling you that it's time to change, but you feel scared, I promise you leaning into that uncomfortable feeling and letting it take you where it wants you to go is one of the best things that you can ever do for your personal growth. If you are somebody who has moved away from their hometown, let me know in the comments, let me know your experience, and if you have any words of wisdom, drop it down below so that other people who are considering this move can get some encouragement. See ya!